Hello and welcome to the How to Get an Analytics Job podcast, where we will help you discover where you fit into the analytics marketplace, what skills you should build, and how to land your analytics dream job. I'm John David, analytics agency owner and educator.
And I'm Elizabeth Illig, a private career coach and higher education professional. In this podcast, we will not only help you land your next analytics job, but we will give you the tools and strategies to level up your career.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We are going to continue to talk about discovery, and I've got Fabio as my guest, and he is an analytics manager at Volvo Finance. So Fabio, I'll just let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Fabio Alamini. I'm originally from Brazil. I've been in the US for 6 or 7 years right now. And basically I built my career on finance organizations and finance departments, where certainly analytics is a great part of my job. Okay,
cool. So what are the emerging trends? So that is really the topic that I wanted to talk to you about, because we've had this conversation in the past that your organization has evolved quite a bit, and I'd love just to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, basically, with the growth of technology and the amount of data that we are producing nowadays, it's certainly necessary for us as individuals leverage that data to impact the business. And with that mindset, basically, we need to develop new skills to be able to achieve that and leverage all the technology we have available to deliver that. So, for example, automation is a key point nowadays on the business, basically right. Because people want to do jobs that require more judgment, because that's where the brain is more competitive than a machine. If you need to be operational, generating data, generating reports, PDFs, a machine can do better than people as analysts. So what we need to add is critical thinking about what you're doing and really deliver the title that a lot of times we have as analysts, to go and really analyze the data and use that data to impact the business, not massaging the data or generating PDFs or do something that a machine could do better than us.
Yeah, it sounds like the difference between a manual or ad hoc approach versus systems thinking.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, what is standard that you can automate that is recurrent, right? That sometimes even it requires a certain point of analysis. A lot of times that analysis is consistent, month over month variance on something or year over year growth. So that's part of automation too. And then I really believe that where we should leverage is what you mentioned, is the deep dive. What we're not looking today, what are our deep dives, or what is going deeper on the business question that data can tell us that is not following a script.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that, well, it probably depends on the size of your organization too. Like if you're, one of the things that I've talked about on the YouTube channel, and I think in some of the other podcasts, is that there's this huge middle and small market that's emerging. But with these larger organizations, you want to get away from a manual approach and you want to scale. I think scalability is a huge buzzword right now.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And there are trade-offs for sure. Certainly, if you have more, I'm going to say if you have a bigger job description where you're doing a lot of different things, then certainly the approach you need to take eventually be more high level, or you need to be very precise on the things that you need to do. Is different from if you're a data scientist on a big organization where you're going every day, you have a clear path, you have data available, you have a team to support you. So that's, both of them require analytics in terms of skills, and somehow they are connected, but it's a totally different approach.
Okay, that's actually funny that you mentioned data scientist versus data analyst. I just put out a video on YouTube last week about that, and I realized that I'm kind of seeing it from my own consulting agency, like how I treat my data scientist or what I think of a data science project is. What's the difference in your eyes between a data analyst and a data scientist or a business analyst?
I would say that a business analyst is more embracing to the business. So they are more the liaison between the data scientist and someone that is making a decision in the business, a business leader, for example. So that individual, it needs to be more hybrid approach. Yes, it needs to have a lot of technical skills to be able to go and leverage the data, but at the same time, we need to develop a lot of soft skills to take the data to influence the business, to impact the business, to translate that eventually to a leader in the organization that you not necessarily understand all the scripts and the coding that is behind the analysis, but really translate that into a story that the leaders will be able to execute on that story. So to me, that's a little difference between them.
Okay. So you would say that, let me see if I can rephrase this in a way that like I think about it. So data scientists, their main priority is to solve kind of complex business problems. Mm-hmm. A business analyst or data analyst needs to kind of gestate and like turn that insight into recommendations.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because that's how you're gonna get value out of this. Certainly depends from business to business. There's some business that research is what matter. Create an algorithm is what's the goal of that analysis. But very often the end goal is improve profitability, be more efficient.
Right.
Save expenses. So that is a business decision that needs to happen, and people trust people more than sometimes they trust the data. So it's the data that is behind the people, right?
That's true. I mean, that's the worst when I'm in a client meeting and all of a sudden we find out the data is corrupted. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, all my recommendations have just gone out the window.
Right.
Yeah, that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, and it happens very often, right? So that's why to me, these two type of professionals complement each other.
Yeah.
Because also you can do a great recommendation and a great story, but if you go to the next layer and the data is not because the data is wrong, but it's because you did something wrong on your analysis over the data, that's also not going to help you. So you need to both have the data consistency and be able to trust the data by itself, but also the assumptions that you're doing on that data to make a recommendation, the business, that need to be as strong as the data.
Interesting. So another breakdown or difference between data analyst or data scientist and business, or data scientist and data analyst is data scientist, it's more hard skills. Mm-hmm, business analyst, it's more soft skills.
Yeah, and I certainly there's not a line in between them.
Right. Yeah.
I think again it's something new, it's something emerging. So, but that's how I see that some people come and they're if you think as a mix, you have a mix between a business knowledge that you need that requires to perform a job and a technical knowledge. So you can be in any place in the spectrum. There are individuals that are very comfortable under the technical side. They just eventually they wanna heads down and crushing numbers all day long. Mm-hmm. Where there's in the other side there are people that are very business oriented and eventually they don't even have a very strong technical background in the data, but they know what to do with that data. So in between them, there's multiple.
It's like a spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Think as a spectrum. So there's depending on the type of job is where you'll be on that spectrum, and sometimes it changes even in your day to day as you as the same individual. Yeah, there is a week that you need to do a specific analysis. You know the business problem, you're gonna go from it. But eventually in the following week, you need to change in the spectrum because now you need to sell that idea or you need to prove that point or put a story on top of that. So it's a mix, not only in between professionals, but also in your day or in your week or in your month.
What kind of hat? Like, okay, I need to put my data analyst hat on. Oh, I need to put my business consultant hat on. Yeah. Oh, I need to put my salesman hat on.
Right.
So I think a huge skill that I see a lot of my students who are trying to get into the analytics space, something that they completely miss or they don't even think about, or actually, in fact, they're probably running from, is sales skills or influence. Like you need to be able to sell your project.
Right.
That is probably the most important soft skill that I see. Mm-hmm. What are the other soft skills that you would recommend someone learning?
I mean, I think certainly what very linked with what you're talking about is storytelling. So be able to tell a story on top of data or be able to connect the dots and be able to insert that data as a good component of that story. So to me, as we spoke a little bit, is the ability then is data, you analyze the data to generate insights to influence the business. So again, soft skills, influence to impact the business is all related, but that's the circle, right? You get the data, going to impact the business, or in other words, monetizing the data and the analysis that you're providing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's such an interesting and relevant concept of data as a sales tool. Data as a way to data as a way to make money, either using data to cut costs and thus improve profitability, or studying your sales trends to understand this is my target demographic. This is who I need to go after. They want to be targeted, via this channel at this time of day. Here's the message that works. I mean, I've actually got a really interesting consulting engagement I'm working on now that I got news on last Monday that we started with sales analytics. Now they're expanding that to all of their departments. So, for example, I have a meeting tomorrow with their manager or director of their surveys. So what we're going to be doing is studying their surveys to understand. Well, there's two things. There's two main benefits that I think you can get out of taking like a customer survey. The first thing is marketing copy. So they can say 9 out of 10 manufacturers agree that this product really worked for them.
Right.
And then the other side of that is they can study, okay, well, yeah, we're doing really good with manufacturers, but if you look at, I'm trying to think of another, sales organizations, our product's not doing so hot there. So we need to do some deeper analysis and figure out why that is. So I mean, it's so interesting to think of it.
I certainly relate to that, and to me that is the key topic of this conversation, is how you're moving from a governance perspective. So people that will be leveraging data as a governance, like finance or IT, now they're more going towards a guidance. So you're becoming a little business development, right? Because now the data is available, and there is the data democratization where people have the data that they need at the time that they need. So from that perspective, you don't need more to send the reports. You don't need more PDF. But now you need is engage that in the business. Whatever is, as you mentioned, customer experience, understand what your customer wants, or departments that you support or other companies that you relate, what are their expectations on you as individual, as department, or as organization. So certainly to me that's the key topic, is how you then use that data in your favor and cover some of the blind spots that you have.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so we talked about soft skills. What are some hard skills that are emerging right now?
I mean, certainly it's coding, right? I mean, coding to me is one of the was a fantastic one. It's about being able not be scared of coding. I think that's certainly changing, and that's great.
I'm scared of coding.
I'm a little bit, but that's to me is a major trend. When you see kids being part of their school, or sometimes even no kids on high school that they are focused on coding, that will open them many doors. Not only because it's a technical skills, but it trains their brains, logic. It's data. So
the judgment. I think a really good coder is almost like someone that's like playing music. Learning coding is like learning a language. And there's some people that can write poetry. There are other people who can barely put two words together.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. I mean, the way you learn is also like a language, right? In the beginning, you don't understand anything, and then you start getting more familiar. You catch some words here and there, and if you continue to train and develop, you'll be fluent. And coding is the same thing. Now, when you have a challenge, you basically feel very comfortable that you can do by yourself. Oh, I can grab this data, I can manipulate, I can transform, and I can have the story that I was looking for and validate my first impression or what the data is telling you. So to me, that's certainly the point. Is developing the coding is one of the main ones, and I'm amazed on how that is going through like people early in their careers, because that's really how can help to them.
Yeah. How do you feel? What are your thoughts on data visualization?
Certainly, I mean, at the end of the day, that is the top of the iceberg, right? A lot of times that's how people will see all your analysis and now the coding that is behind that. So basically be able to deliver that on an effective way, the data that's aligned with your insights is so important. Sometimes people have very limited amount of time to look at something, and if they look at visualization that is appropriate, they will not forget. So they remember the data. It's different than just looking at numbers. So the visualization can help you understand insights that is not only available when you look at numbers, right?
Well, I think that data visualization, and I don't know, I have never thought of it this way before, it's kind of a crossroads between hard skills and soft skills. Because good data visualization helps you tell a story with data.
Correct.
So that, I think that is, and that's what I've been telling people on the podcast and on the YouTube channel, is that if you want to get into analytics and you want your first job, learn some data visualization tools.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I think that's in the past was you'd say, oh, learn Excel or learn on PowerPoint, right? But nowadays it's just migrating through that direction because again, coming back to the beginning of this conversation is about automation. So you might not need to take the data out of a system or having any manual input to generate a visualization, so it becomes more automatic. So having this skill is certainly very hot in the market right now.
You also mentioned another point that's kind of an offshoot of that, this concept of data democratization. So if you build effective data visualizations, these dashboards can empower anyone to use that.
Exactly, and that's how you become a more strategic business partner. So it doesn't matter the department you are, because people is not gonna get to you to say, hey, can you give me the sales report of last week, or how is this product performing this year versus last year? That's already on their hands. So it's data democratization. Now they're coming to you is, how can I improve my margins? How can I sell more of that? How can I cut cost, or in a positive way, getting more efficient, right? So basically that's the benefit.
So how, we talked about coding and data visualization. How would you go about building that skill set?
I mean, I would say is like find something that you're passionate and explore it. So it can be anything. If you're passionate about fantasy football, just go and put your data and analyze and take your own advantage by leveraging that data. If you're someone that really like to play with finance in your own home, with your budget and expenses on credit card, it's amount of data that you know the story, that you understand the trends, you understand what's happening. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn some of that skills and learn some transformation. Hackathons, for example. So hackathons to me is one of the best ones. So it's data competitions or data marathons, right? Where someone throw you a business problem, you have a limited amount of time to go and put some insights about that specific topic that someone's providing. So to me, a data hackathon, it covers a lot of the boxes in terms of data analytics and passion about it. First, because usually these hackathons, they happen on weekend or outside the normal business hours. So if you're taking your Friday night or Saturday and your Sunday to go with a bunch of people and play with data, you're probably passionate about that. You're trying to build that skills. You know, you would find a passion in data. You're having fun. So you're not doing, a lot of times there's no rewards. I mean, it's just for yourself to learn, or you're just having fun. So to me, that's certain way to go. When you're in a hackathon, that also means that you like to work in a group, right? Usually these data hackathons, they really incentivize you to go as a team. So you build a team where the teams, everyone can do a piece and everyone can collaborate in order to get a good result. Another thing is about technology. So you're going this hackathon and probably you will have to learn something new, a way of do a code or a new tool, or how to display that information that you are not aware until the day you get there, but you're not afraid. You're going there knowing that it'll be you're going to improve your skills, that you're going to meet new people, that you're going to network, and out of your traditional hours. So that's just amazing to me.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, that is a fantastic way of growing those skills. But that's a little bit limited too, because hackathons are mainly for university students, right?
Yeah, there are some focus, but I would say in the marketplace, I'd say as tools are trying to help people to learn that skills, I think tools are facilitating that, or communities. Each of the visualizations tools nowadays, they have their own community, which is really a support environment where people can publish a data set, and then everyone going to be building a visualization on top of that data set, and then you'll be collaborating about the visualizations. What did they learn? What does the data tells about what's the story behind the data? So yeah, I mean, you have the opportunity via hackathons that are more academical, I'd say, but also there are opportunities to interact with other, I would say, more advanced users.
Well, there's also kind of a step down from hackathons. Tableau hosts these gatherings, these I guess they would be, on the internet gatherings, like Makeover Monday, Workout Wednesday, Sports Viz Sunday, where you get together with an online community and you work on a specific data problem. This is a great way to build out your actual Tableau or data visualization portfolio.
Yeah, and as you build that, it's certainly going to help you in the end. There's a lot of people that are recruiting data professionals. They'll be looking at that thing because, again, it gives a lot of messages when you're doing that. So they will take that portfolio and see, okay, so this person's really developing these skills. It's proactive. No one is asking this individual to do that. Is something that's coming from themselves. So that's certainly a great point.
And then we actually talked a little bit on this last point. There is a way for you to get paid to learn skills, right?
Probably, yeah.
Didn't you say that a lot of work environments will pay you to learn new skills?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if there is a gap in the organization, so probably there is the interesting of these organizations to build those skills, whatever it is with their direct staff or eventually in the community in order to develop a pipeline for the future. But I would say yes, there is today. Companies are really willing to do that. But I would say with technology change, that also depends a lot on us. So sometimes you're going to learn more effective as going at night and watch a YouTube video on how to do something. And the company is not going to tell you to do that. The company certainly can go and stimulate that and give you the work environment and tell you, hey, there's no problem. It's the opposite. I really encourage you. It's from 8 to 5, and if you need to take some time over that hours to explore something new, just go for it. But also is all on us. We are responsible for the quality of our jobs. So also depend on us sometimes to go and say, hey, I need to learn something new. There is a lot of Coursera or LinkedIn Learning or Udemy. There you go, just go there, $5. You learn a new tool, you learn a new skills, you learn a new coding language, or you know a soft skill. So
shameless plug. I've got 3 new courses coming out on LinkedIn this month.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. There does seem to be a wide spectrum of online learning. Well, just in learning in general, and we're going to talk about this in one of the upcoming podcasts. But so there's a university, which is like very expensive. There are boot camps, which are moderately expensive, and then there's online learning, and it's self-guided, which means all of the responsibilities on you, but you can use YouTube or Reddit or the Power BI forums to learn, and it's essentially free.
Yeah, it's
like $9 for a course. Yeah,
exactly.
$5.
So opportunities are plenty, right? It depends on us to go there, find something that we are passionate about, be interesting about learning something new. Be skeptical about the data, always making the next question so that will give you the answer that you're looking for. So one advice that I got in the business one day is that if you torture the data enough, it will confess anything. And that's true. So you never stop until it tells you really what's going on. So again, that will come via training formal, that will come eventually about networking, that you come via soft skills, technical skills. Sometimes you're going to click on a 20 minutes YouTube video on how to do something that will take you like a 3-day sitting class. So it's a mix.
Yeah, I was going to say, I used Power BI yesterday. I used YouTube to learn about Power BI. Turns out that, so I've been using Tableau for 3 years now, so I'm used to that interface. Turns out you have to go to the Power BI marketplace, which they don't like really do a good job of telling you that. Right. I watched a 20-minute video that showed me the exact visualization, how to find it. Right. And it was for free on YouTube. Granted, it took me a while to dig through that. I think that when you're paying for courses, what you're doing is you're paying to save your time. Because someone has gone through and structured it out.
And I'd say that that's also a very appropriate approach. Because eventually you want to build a strong foundation before going by your own.
Yeah, right.
So you want to have like a 8 hours or a 16 hours like foundation that gives you the basics, because also you don't want to be ineffective of spending 16 hours on something that if you have a little bit more foundation, you'd be doing 1 hour. So to me, that's the benefit of sometimes invest up front on a strong foundation, but knowing that from there is on you.
Yeah. Interesting. So Do you have any closing notes? Like what? Let's rapid fire. What are some tips that you'd have for someone trying to get an analytics job?
Just find something that you're passionate and build your own skills. Share that. Collaborate with other people. Find an environment. Find a community. And things will come natural. A lot about the data and the analytics. A lot of people talk is what matters the mindset. As you just say, I know Tableau. If I have to know Power BI, you got it, because it's your mindset that you're building is your end goal, and then you figure out how to get there. So that is my main advice. Just find something you're passionate, build your skills, both soft and I would say more technical skills, and that will pay dividends.
What would be the top skill in the analytics space that you would recommend learning?
It's a tough one. I mean, I would say eventually my day-to-day is certainly data visualization. And the reason I tell you that is because these tools are getting so good that the amount of coding required is getting lower and lower. So they have the no keyboard challenge I saw on YouTube a couple weeks ago, where you need to build a dashboard without touching your keyboard. Drag and drop. So and that was not only on a specific tool. That was not on a specific tool. I saw people doing that on Tableau, on Power BI, or ClickSense. So again, that's a great point. It's like learning data visualization, it doesn't necessarily need to come with a lot of strength on coding. However, coding for me is fascinating because it's about the mindset, it's about logic, it's about the art of possible. And so to me, both together are.
And I did want to ask you also too, what coding language would you recommend learning first?
I'd say any. Yeah. Again, if you're gonna develop Power BI, you're gonna build DAX or M. If you're going to ClickView or ClickSense, will be their own language.
Yeah.
Tableau is different. Python, R. So they will be different. So if you're not, if you have the mindset and if you feel that comfortable with language, you're gonna go and learn particularities of any of them, but you know exactly what your
so it's more about developing the right mindset.
Correct. So
awesome.
But that's my opinion, because I'm more from the business side. Certainly if you're really willing to become a data scientist, then you should probably be looking at what the top skills that on machine learning, artificial intelligence. So that's a little different, but I would say from a business perspective, that's how I see it. That the tools are getting much better, and data robots nowadays, or Einstein Analytics on Salesforce, that might not require a lot of coding. That might be more centralized.
It's literally point and click. I'm learning it right now.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Fabio, I really appreciate you coming out. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.